All right, so it looks like you just been on the go, Calvin, since the last time I interviewed you. I mean, you got a new album coming out August 31st, America's Most Wanted. I read that you did some work on this album with Robert Perry.
Well, what happened? Yeah, I did. He actually, there were some songs that that I had written and produced or whatever, and so I got him and his band to play it over.
Okay, that's cool. And what was your experience like? I heard some of his other work, and in my opinion, it was good. What was your experience like?
As far as what's that now? Working with Bob Perry?
Yes.
Well, the music came out good, and put it like that.
Okay. All right. Now I've been seeing a lot of things that you've been doing. I see you were on tour with the play. What was that like?
Well, I had a lot of fun. It was a learning experience for me doing the plays because I never had did this plays before, and so I kind of built my chops up for doing theater a little bit. And, it was enjoyable for me. Like I really enjoyed working with the cast. Ann Nesbitt, she was on there, and me and her were really good friends, and a couple other people. Like I said, everybody was real cool. They took me under their wing and made sure everything was straight. So it was cool.
That's good. Was it a big transition from just singing and I've seen your performance on stage and you really get into character when you're on stage. I mean, if that is a character or is that just you all the way, 100% Calvin? But
now when I'm performing on stage, that's just me. That's just, people just get a chance to see that side of me,
Okay.
But it's still me because, I love what I do. So, I guess people can,
that's
it
good.
Comes across like that when you watch it.
That's good. Do you see yourself exploring any more acting in the future?
I'm open.
That's good.
And, definitely, I'm open to that. And if it come my way, I don't know. Depending on what it is, I probably won't turn it down because I had such a good time doing it.
That's good. And I see no reason why not to. I didn't get a chance to catch you in the play, but I mean I've seen the clips and the trailers and things like that, and it really looked like it was just something that just fit you, so
yeah.
I mean I couldn't see why would you turn it down. Now I've been following, and I see that you were nominated as a co-writer for There Goes My Baby.
Right.
I'm sure that was like a huge accomplishment for you, and also to have Charlie Wilson sing the song. How did that come about? Because I know you had been holding on to that song for a while.
Well, I recorded that song and wrote it with Babyface probably like I'm gonna say it was in 2005 actually.
Okay.
And I really it's not like I was holding on to the record. Like I recorded numerous records in my past, and once I do them, and we move on from that. Like I was in a deal with Hollywood Records when we wrote that, and so after I left that deal, like they owned the masters to the recordings, but they didn't own the songs. They just owned the masters, and the guy that actually produced the record, he played it for Charlie when Charlie was looking for material for his new album that it came out on, and Charlie, he fell for it, and he just re-recorded it, and what I'm saying, like that was basically they got in touch with me and told me that it was done, and I heard it, and it's Charlie Wilson, so
I know.
I was just honored that a legend like Charlie Wilson would be recording one of my songs.
That's good. That's good. Actually, my mom and I, we got into a debate about who had the best version, and she's like, Charlie Wilson could sing anything. So I'm like, yeah, Mama, but I like the way Calvin sings it. So I mean, but one thing I can say is that it was a great song. I like both versions, and I was just really proud of your accomplishment when I heard about it getting placed with him. I felt like nobody else could have done it any better justice. So I really was proud to see it go go to him. But moving forward, fast forwarding a bit, I see that on June 25th you got awarded. Was it the Rhythm and Soul Award, or was it for Songwriter of the Year with ASCAP? Because I've been getting some confusion about what it was.
Yeah, it's being one of the top writers of the year.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Because they live my baby, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Now, one time I asked you a question. I never got an answer to this, but I said, Calvin, I asked you, how would you feel if people viewed you more so as a songwriter than a singer?
How would I feel?
Yeah, how would you feel?
I mean, I feel just as accomplished as I do about being a singer, because, there are a lot of people out there that, that can't write, you know what I mean, and that are not recognized for that part of their talent. But, I've never had that to be the case. But, like I said, if it came down to that, and that's all I was, that people knew about me and that I was a writer, then I'll be cool with that.
Okay. Well, I was reading in Hip Hop Press. There's a section there where you're quoted saying something about your, I believe your current album, and I have the quote right here. You said, "This album is all original. And as always, I write about things that are important to me. I deal with directly or indirectly on a day-to-day basis. I think the major difference on this album is that I continue to grow as a producer as well as a writer. I paid close attention to not only lyrics but the melodic structure. This one definitely says about the space I was in when I was recording this time. I was in a beautiful place in life." And just, a lot of times, being a writer myself, I know that a lot of times our work reflects what we're going through in our lives and how we're feeling either at that moment or that month or that year. And you say you were in a beautiful place in life. Do you still hold that to be true now, today? I mean, what's going on with Calvin Richardson? Is it anything that you can share with your fans and our readers just to kind of give them some insight as to that beautiful place and how you came about your creative process on this album?
Well, I mean, when I say I'm in a good space and beautiful space in my life, is that, I'm comfortable with who I am, like what I do, I'm being, obviously, to be recognized for those things. And finally, after, being in the business for, 12 plus years, everything is good for me. You know what I mean? Like, I've accomplished quite a few things this year and the past year, and good things continue to come my way. And so, like, there's a certain point in life when things are just going, everything is good. There's a point of peace that you just have. You know what I mean? And so that's basically what I meant by that. I mean, and my book is, my life is basically like, it's pretty much an open book. Like, there's not too many secrets and stuff of it. Obviously, everybody don't know everything about me, and that's, I reserve that right to have a little something for myself. But at the same time, you know what I mean? Like I said, everything is good. Life is good. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to do my own thing. I got my own record label. You know what I mean? I got, my own staff. I got, everything is, kind of working my record, doing things my way. And, when you get that option in life to really do things your way, you know what I mean? You gotta, here's a point where, you gotta appreciate that, and I do.
That's true. That's true. And that's real. I mean, what more could you really ask for, except to be living in complete heaven? But I mean, when it comes down to being able to have control over your destiny, so to speak, as far as what you can do, what you can put out, what you can say, how you can write it, when you want it to come out. I mean, a lot of those things really do make the difference in how you perform.
When you choose how you want the world to see you, what kind of pictures you want to get out there, you know what I'm saying? Your artwork, everything, you know what I'm saying? I, produced with Justin Pegg, like worked alongside him doing the video and everything. Like it's nobody is in control of Calvin Richardson anymore, and it never will be, you know?
That's good. And you talk a lot. You talk a lot about your life in your songs, especially the songs that you write, in a way that it's almost like telling a story. And I really can't say much about America's Most Wanted because I have yet to hear the other songs on the album, but I did hear You're So Amazing. Of course, I saw the video and I did a review on the video, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I said to myself, I mean, you know, I looked in comparisons to some of the other videos that you've done in the past, and I've seen how a lot of the times the director may have had you just singing or being the singer, but this time you were a soldier and, you know, paying respect to the soldiers. And that was really a very admirable thing to do. Not only because they're, you know, with them being overseas and fighting on our behalf, fighting for our country, that's just enough in itself. But the video was great. And it was just good to see you transition into something other than a singer, because we know that already. We know that you're a singer, and it's just fun. I think videos tell the story. They tell the real story. A lot of times we listen to a song and we think we know what it's about, or we just take that song and relate it to what's going on in our personal lives or situations, but we never really know what the singer or the writer was thinking about when they put the whole thing together. So it kind of gave, you know, me as a viewer some insight into like a storyline. And I kind of even compared it to, I said, you know, I kind of felt like I was watching one of R. Kelly's fairy tales, you know, because he has this great imagination and he's, you know, a really creative genius himself. But I was just, you know, saying, you know, I really enjoyed it, and I thought that was a great piece of work. I thought there was a lot of effort put into that project. So, you know, kudos to you on that. But but now, which brings me to another quote that I found you saying, and and I like to quote you because you, you said here, I love Come Over so much, Calvin says, because it really put me out there in the sense that it kind of opens the door to know how I spend the other 80% of my life, which is alone. Because I'm an entertainer, I get love from so many people, so no one would think that when I go home, it's to an empty house. Sometimes nothing else will do but that one individual, if you know what I mean. Now, before you say anything, I just want to know, is this really true or is this just a sham? And of course, this might have been written months ago. I don't know. So things may have changed if it's true. But is it a sham, Calvin, or do you just say that you just put that out there to keep your sex appeal hot and to keep the ladies hanging on? I mean,
let me set the record straight. First of all, I did say that, and it is not a sham. It is actual and it's factual. And let me tell you, this is when I say, let me set the record straight. I mean, I really don't care about no sex appeal or none of that. I'm not trying to be hot in nobody's eyes. The only thing I'm concerned about is making good music and putting it out there. What people see is what they see, and what they get is what they're gonna get. And what they get from me is gonna always be true, and it's gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? And so, hey, you know what I'm saying? That's what that record. That's what it's about. And like I said, you know, that's how I spend the majority of my time. You know what I mean? And you know, it's nothing to be. I'm not necessarily proud about it. I'm not ashamed of it. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of my life. And you know, like I said, when I write about things that, you know, that I go through and I deal with on a day-to-day basis. So that just happened to be one of the subject matters that would come over that I decided to touch on, and you know what I'm saying, kind of go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I mean, it's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, everybody goes through transitions in their life, and sometimes people just need to have some me time, basically, you know. So I mean, I could totally understand that. Now, I read something else, but I can't quote you on this. I read somewhere that you live a soul-filled life. So, I mean, in having this 80% of your time to yourself,